You know, I forgot to tell everybody in my rant. Switchman, Skokie Yard, Skokie Shops. Cleve lied to you. Mark, Penny, they wanted to throw our brother's grievance out regarding that non-revenue rail car that keeps derailing. And I was pushing the issue about the training. And of course they would, in their board meeting, they just ran all over me. Anytime I defend anybody, it's like it's an issue with them. And they worked real hard to sell our switchman out. And they got caught in it because, thank God, the brother showed up to talk about his case. And it was so good because he's like, we've been telling him that this stupid rail car keeps derailing. And then they rushed the training. And see, that's what I was saying, is I was saying, where was his name on this training? What training did he even get to do? What was the training? You know, and they weren't having it. And Cleve Atkins, Mr. Instructor, Mr. Boss, Mr. Sheriff, Yosemite Sam, with the missing $1 million in payroll. He said, oh, the issue was a spring and stay switch versus rigid switches. What rail yard has rigid switches in it? CTA, Union Pacific, any rail yard does not have rigid switches in it. He said, oh, I thought it used to be rigid switches. You liar. You liar. You liar. Cleve Atkins. Instead of just saying, you know what, I was wrong. I'm sitting here defending the CTA again. Pardon me, guys, but I just love the boss so much. The managers are so nice to me. They treat me so well. They do me so many favors. No, you got to say, oh, I thought it was all rigid switches in Skokie Yard. You know, it just hit me, and I had to pull that out. I'm like, you can go through trailing with spring and stay. And, you know, because you want to just jam all this stuff through, ram all this crap through in our executive board meeting, you switchmen need to know this. And we got our president sitting, I'm a switchman, I'm a switchman, I'm a switchman. No, you a boss agent. You're always, what did the CTA have to say? Well, what did the CTA have to say? It's like every time we say something, you don't believe it. But when they say something, you believe it. Thank God the members overturned this. And I got a feeling that it wouldn't have been overturned if Mark and Cleve didn't admit that they screwed up. And that's what you guys did. Just admit it. You screwed up. Yeah. But you won't. You're going to act all proud. I'm going to tell you what, switchman. You can say maybe you don't like my approach. Okay. That's fine. But let me tell you what. If that brother, that switchman didn't show up, if he didn't show up and speak up, it would have been lost. Y'all would have lost it. We would have lost that grievance. This switchman would have had a safety on his record. And they'd still be writing up people for this stupid, this stupid shuttle, whatever the hell this non-revenue car is. You a liar. You a liar, Cleve Atkins. Mark Weems. Y'all a bunch of liars. And you, instead of it saying you made a mistake by voting to not arbitrate, you said, oh, I thought the whole yard was rigid switches. Get out of here. No, you didn't. Ain't no yard full of rigid switches, man. Nah. And this is what they do, y'all. I'm in these board meetings. I know there's someone on Facebook that says, the only flag I should display is the American flag. Make me. I'm going to display the Nation of Islam flag. And if you don't like it, make some more comments. Because every time y'all comment, I get a penny. But anyways, he's a liar. King Kong Cleve, Yosemite Sam, you are a freaking liar. You know that ain't no rail yard all rigid switches. Oh, you're going to have rigid switches entering the rail yard from whatever main line there is, if there's an interlocking nearby. But it's a rail yard, man. All of these tracks where they store the trains, we're not all rigid switches. I don't even need to look up any schematics to know that. But this is what they do to us, brothers and sisters. This is the kind of crap. We didn't have to have this meeting to discuss that grievance. If they weren't so worried about what the CTA have to say and so worried about destroying anything that I say and any questions that I bring up. I just, you all brothers and sisters need to know for yourselves how much Cleve Atkins, Penny McCoach, James Battle, and Mark Weems defend the CTA mismanagement. I'm telling you, a CTA mismanager could sexually assault you, man or woman, and these people will not stand up and speak up for you. These people could write you up and say you pushed an old lady down the stairs at Midway Terminal. And they would provide some fuzzy video. Where you really can't see your face. But they'll say, yeah, that's them. They said it. They said it. What did the CTA have to say? What did the CTA have to say? Wait a minute. We had a clerk who was lured into the basement of a rail shop, a rail maintenance shop. And the manager was there naked in his boots playing with himself. Did they believe her? No. He said, what did CTA say? What did CTA say? You bastards. It doesn't matter, brothers and sisters, what you tell Penny, Mark, Keith Hill too, Local 241. They want to know, what does the management say? Just like these switchmen at Skokie shop, that they keep derailing this stupid rail car. I bet you the CTA got that rail car off at Temu. I bet you they got it from Temu, man. Not even Amazon. They said, we need to get a deep discount, bro. Let's go get a rail car from Temu and just hurry up. And then blame the instructors for not training them enough. Why not do that too? Take everybody down. What does the CTA have to say? What does the CTA have to say? Man, I'm telling you, these bastards, these bastards, and I'm just, I ain't even going in the house at the moment because y'all are a bunch of criminals, okay? And I just got to get this off my chest. I'm running for president of Local 308 because month after month after month, all these people do is care about what the CTA mismanagement has to say. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that these managers could sexually assault you, run you over with their car, electrocute you, poison your food, fabricate a drug test, sabotage your work. Penny, Mark, James, and Cleve will side with them. Time after time after time. And there's, oh yeah, Passeri's spreading hate. He's making the members hate us, and therefore the members are now threatening to harm us and whatnot. All you do is threaten to harm me for talking to these people. Time after time after time. The CTA is violating every freaking part of the contract every freaking day. and you don't say nothing. Let's see if I can get. You know, these people, these so-called union reps, we would be better off with a gerbil. A couple gerbils. 3 gerbils at the most. And a cage. You know, I had a hamster growing up. I had 2 hamsters. And we got these tunnels. I forgot what the hell we called it. And they had all these mazes they could go through. They would do a better job than these people in the CTA mismanagers. You know why? Because over there on 11204 Southwestern, all they do is the bidding of the CTA mismanagement. They love the vice presidents of the CTA. On Monday, Brother Renato, fellow union rep, said to our president, hey, look, you know, there was a shooting at Midway Terminal. The switchmen, they really want to clock in the yard. They don't want to clock in at the terminal because they don't feel safe. And Penny, they are not going to do that. So-and-so, Vice President so-and-so, we've already talked to them. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So our president seems to think that she's a spokesman for our employer. I am an elected union representative. When the members tell me that they want better working conditions and they have an idea to make the working conditions better, I have to carry out their will. I cannot come back to them and tell them what the boss says. What the boss says. I have to tell the boss what they want. And then the boss will say, well, I'm not going to do it. I said, okay, I'll let him know you said that, but I'm not going to stop helping them get what they want. And whatever it takes, we're going to get what we want. No. Our union presidents go to the boss, and the boss tells them what they're going to do, and then they tell us what the boss is going to do. It's just like that contract. Some of y'all don't want to believe me. I don't know why you want to wallow your head in ignorance, but if you look at the collective bargaining agreement and you look at those summaries that we voted on for the tentative agreement, you'll see that they waived the paid sick leave. It is our human right. They waived it without you knowing. Keith Hill, Penny McCoach waived it. And then when I confronted them about it, they said, I'm an effing liar. I'm a clown. And Mark Weems vowed, he said, I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure the members throw you out on your ass. And you never win president. This is our vice president. Infuriated. I wasn't talking about his mama. I wasn't talking about his hair. I wasn't talking about his dog, his cat, his children. I wasn't talking about his spouse. I wasn't talking about he's a clown. I said, why did you sell the members a waiver for paid sick? Why did you sneak it, the waiver for paid sick leave? And their response is, I'm a clown. Their response is, I'm an effing liar. Answer the question. Why did you do it? They refuse to answer the question. But then, in their anger, they keep coming back to it. And see, this is the thing. Why y'all so lucky to have me in the board, because I could tell you the crap they're doing. And then they said, Eric Basir wants the CTA to pay people to not come to work. That's their answer, brothers and sisters. That's their answer. Their answer to why they shoved a waiver for paid sick leave down our throats. Their answer is, Eric Basir, wants the CTA to pay people not to come to work. Now, the managers have paid sick leave and short-term disability. We only have short-term disability. So now I'm saying, well, we should have what the managers have. But Mark Weems is saying, I and Penny are saying that I want the CTA to pay people not to come to work. What about the managers? So you're going to say, I want the CTA to pay the managers not to come to work? I'm defending the managers? Why don't you say that? No, you're not. Because you're liars. You're liars. You're liars. And you're traitors. And now you've turned this whole thing around because now there's members who you're driving a little cuckoo are threatening you with violence. And now you're blaming it on me. And now we got someone in the membership meeting that says, well, why don't we bring guns? Can we bring guns in here? And Payne said, oh, no, you can't bring guns. But, it's nuts. So they're turning this thing around. They're selling us out. I'm exposing the sellout that they're doing. I'm in there. Members put me in the executive board. Now I'm exposing. I've been exposing everything. Y'all know that. And now members are getting pissed. And he says, yeah, the wrong person will know. You never know. They may do something. They may snap. Well, then why don't you stop selling us out? I mean, if people want to kill me and do violent things to me, I want to know why. And Mark Weems brings this on himself. Here you go. Just like you want to blame the members. You want to blame our brother, Mark, the other Mark. I'll call him younger Mark. For filing a grievance that the CTA, he needs to give him his money back and stop stealing from it. Because what they did, they brought him in, they paid him a certain rate, and then they cut it. And he quoted the contract. And you justified it. And then you blamed him, saying, well, you shouldn't have told anyone about it. Otherwise, you would have kept getting it. Oh, my God. So now I'm telling you, Brother Mark and Sister Penny, these threats that you've been getting, which are wrong. I don't support anyone threatening you guys with violence. But what you get is what you've been dishing out. You've been dishing this stuff out. See, justice is a two-way street. And y'all messing up. And I'm begging those who have been threatening you to stop threatening you. Get on social media and tell the truth about what they're doing to you. But please don't threaten these people with violence. But at the same time, as a union rep, when you keep hurting the people who are paying out of their dues for you to eat, and then you support the managers who take food out of their mouths of themselves and their children, the consequences could be disastrous. So go ahead and blame me, Penny and Mark. Go ahead, turn this around and say, yeah, I got this crazy guy running for union president. I'm telling you, he's making everyone mad. He's misinforming them. He's telling them things. Why don't you call me? I'll tell you, call us. We'll tell you the truth. Then, fine. You think I'm this bad guy, right? Let's just say you're watching this. You're like, this boogeyman, man, you're making the members hate the officials and disrespect them. Okay. Tell them to play the recordings then of their meetings. Because they record our meetings, you know that. Tell them to play the recording for you. Give you the recording. Tell them to put it online. Redact and bleep out certain things. Go ahead. Let them hear it. But no, you won't. You don't even let us use laptops and computers just to type in notes and to stay in touch with the members. This is how crazy it is. And do you know why? They blame me for that. So they're blaming me for the violence. They're blaming me for why we can't use phones and laptops in these stupid board meetings. What else are they blaming me? They're blaming me for people not coming to work. They're saying I'm telling people not to come to work. My God. I'm telling people go get FMLA, intermittent leave. I'm telling them go, it's your right. I'm telling the people their rights. And then you tell them, well, don't listen to him. He's on the outside. You got to call us in the union office and we'll tell you the truth. But you waived our paid sick leave. So what the hell am I supposed to tell the people? What am I supposed to tell the people who are being written up for being sick? What do I tell the single mom who had to take her son to the hospital as he was having an asthma attack? And they wrote her up even though she had a note from the hospital. They wrote her up even though it's illegal for them to do that in Illinois. You know that? It's illegal. And then when I bring it up and I write about it, you say, yeah, it's illegal. Okay, so what's the problem? Are we going to hold the mismanagement accountable? What are y'all going to do with my class action grievance that says they can't write up single parents who are taking care of their babies who are sick at the hospital? You know what you're going to do? You're going to say, we can't tell the CTA what to do. You see? What did the manager say? We've been talking about that time clock at Howard Terminal. The time clock. For 2 years. Now the time clock's back. Brother Thomas Morgan. Hey, I did it. I did this. You didn't do squat. If it wasn't for Brother Vincent Griffin, and if it wasn't for Brother Vincent Griffin, the switchman, if it wasn't for Brother Vince, he would have never called me. I would have never made noise. You, Brother Thomas, wouldn't have been able to work with the managers to get the time clock back. So as you're running for second vice president or whatever, it'd be better for you to say that you, Vince, and me work together. Tell the people the truth. But you won't, will you? Because, well, nobody likes the boogeyman. Nobody who you think matters. But these members, I hear Howard Terminal. I hear the red line, blue line, the elevated. I hear the support for me as president is substantial. So wouldn't it be better for you to say, yeah, I'm working with Brother Eric to help the members be safe, the switchmen to be safe? Be simple. But no, you're more worried about what Penny and Mark think of you. But that's all right. That's all right. And you notice when the news came out, what happened? I gave you credit. I mentioned your name. Yeah. I mentioned Brother Vince. Because I want people to understand the way a union works is the members lead and the officials facilitate and assist. And if I win president, that's how we're going to run our union. The members going to be in charge. So I'm home, and I know my domestic situation is a little precarious right now because of all this time I spend on union stuff. So I'm going to end this little rant. But Cleve Atkins, you're a liar. You knew Skokie Yard wasn't all rigid switches. Ain't no such thing. Spring and stay is where the storage tracks are. But you know what? You and Penny say, oh, he's not switchman qualified. He's not towerman qualified. He can't say. He was only a train operator for a year. It's all right. Keep trying to belittle whatever I've done and who I am. Continue to destroy our union because you fear that I will become president and the gravy train will come to an end. I'm telling you, these sports and these parties, done. Done. Our union is going to be for the members, not for your friends, not for the mismanagers who you have connections and contracts with. See, I've been told that y'all have secret contracts with different organizations for these sports things. And some of them are related to CTA managers. In fact, some of the people, like our lobbyists, are related to one of the worst CTA mismanagers. And I've been wondering, why are they defending this person? This GM is so evil. Out of all the things to worry about, this GM is worried about taking pictures of people in the locker room, writing me up for protesting on my off day. The relative of this GM is our so-called lobbyist. You see how it adds up? And this is what they're afraid of. I think they will attempt to kill me to keep me from winning. But it's not going to work. Because I serve a mighty God. And he keeps me protected. You talk about violence. You talk about violence against you. It's constant violence against me. But you'll never have to worry about me taking you out, because you'll end up taking yourself out. So the gun you want to use on me is the one that will explode in your face. So I recommend that y'all eat some humble pie. And maybe just stop worrying about what I say and what I do, and take care of the members. Focus on the members, not the managers, not your friends. Our poor towerman, Marcus, y'all burned him, made excuses for the CTA, and the CTA's own evidence is weak. Why? Because you don't like him, for whatever reason. Maybe he's not in your secret society, I don't know. Some people say it's the skin tone. Could be. But whether we're brown, light brown, chocolate, blue, black, this world doesn't want any of us in any kind of power. So they do pit us against each other. I hope that, Brother Cleve, you hear this, that I called you out for being a liar. You should have just said, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was thinking they were rigid switches. And then you said, but you said it was like that before. No, it wasn't. It never was. You see these people? Because they were caught in a lie that they created themselves. And you're handling our money? Okay. Well, if I make president, you might as well resign, because I'm going to let the members know what you're doing with our money. And if you refuse to give me those books so that I can share it with them, I'm going to let them know that too. And we're going to put Section 22 charges on you. Not going to try to ruin your job, not going to try to have you jailed. I don't want that for you, Brother Cleve. I don't want you to suffer. But damn it, stop hiding our money. Stop hiding what you're doing with our money. And stop lying and covering up and freaking out. It just doesn't work.